Jude, could you tell us about your experience with the Women's Encampment for Future Peace and Justice?
Well, I didn't have a lot to do with it up there. I knew a lot of the women that did. Gail, Wins Walker, and Jeannie Ayers, Twilight, you, and Samoa, and a lot of women. Can't even remember, there was so many over time. I do remember bringing one of the women back, a couple of the women back actually, from Michigan Women's Festival. One of them was an illegal alien because she didn't have a passport or anything. We just brought her back. It was cool. We got her through, no sweat. She wanted to go hang out at the encampment.
Did you get to visit the encampment yourself?
Oh yeah, a couple times. Went up. Actually, when Janie and Gail were up there, Amy and I went up and hung out with them a little bit. But as we all know, that was kind of loose up there. So, you know, that whole thing with everybody else's girlfriend every other day. And so it wasn't, you know, you heard a lot of stuff like that going on, so you were kind of apprehensive in going up because you were afraid, you know, you were going to get hit on. But
did that happen for you?
Well, only with Janie, but you know, Janie was that way with everybody, so that was to be expected. It would have happened anywhere. Just a little flirting, but no, it was not what everybody expected of it, you know. It was just life. Women hanging out with each other. It was a good time, though. It was a neat time.
Can you tell us about what was going on in your life that...
Well, I have Crohn's disease, and at that point, you know, in the 70s, they really didn't have a lot of information, and the medications they did use were pretty, the prednisone and steroids and stuff were pretty hard on your body. So my body would break down in different ways, and I'd be in the hospital for months with different surgeries and diets, and they did the colostomy, and so I've dealt with that since I was about 22, and that was hard to go to the encampment too for taking care of that, because you need running water and, you know, a good bathroom facility to dump the bag and clean it out, and for good hygiene. And they didn't have that at the encampment, so that was another reason that I couldn't spend lengths of time there. It was just little visits. And it usually was when, you know, somebody that I knew was coming in town and wanted to go up or was up there, and but yeah, I heard about a lot of the actions that went on at the gate, and you know, and I thought it was a cool thing. I thought, you know, if I had my health, it'd be a fun thing to do, you know, to be able to stand up for human rights, you know. But
so when you did get a chance to go out there, what kind of things would you do? What would you guys do?
Oh, just talk to people and check it out, check the information out, you know. And went into I think that somebody was doing herbs up there, because I talked to her a little bit about herbs, you know, and alternative stuff, because I was always looking for information for alternative stuff for the Crohn's to get off the medicines, which at this point I'm off most of them.
Jude, your family's been in this area a really long time.
All of my life,
Uh-huh.
and all of my dad's life, and all of my granddad's life. So 3 generations. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it was my grandfather's grandfather who settled, and his brother settled in the area, and there was actually on Slateville Road, where Besemer Hill and Besemer Road are, there used to be an old train station, and that was owned by my family in the 1800s. So we've been here a long time.
Jude, during those days when the encampment was going on, can you talk a little bit about how people in this area felt about the encampment?
I don't think people in the area a whole lot. I don't think I talked to a whole lot of people in the area. I don't think a lot of them were affected by it because it was quite a bit a ways away from Ithaca. I mean, Romulus, really. I don't think people really knew what it was.
So it didn't. Were people aware of like Seneca Army Depot as far as what might be there? What might be stored at the depot?
See, I don't think people were even aware of that part of it. I think they knew of, the Army Depot, but I don't think they really knew what the goings-on ever really were up there. I don't think they were attached to it in any way,
So Jude, do you have a philosophy about peace and war?
I don't think it gets you anywhere but dead.
Thank you very much.
And I think there's better ways to do it. We should all be able to work out our differences and share. 'Cause that's really what it all comes down to, is just people not being able to share. It's greed. Everybody wanting control of the piggy bank. But I don't know. I feel bad for the kids behind us, We're not leaving them a pretty place. There's a lot of differences to work out that are going to be here even when I'm gone. And I think people just need to hang out and not be so worried about what everybody else is doing, just enjoy each other. The camp was a really interesting place. There was a lot of people from a lot of different places. It was really... I met people that I would have never met in my life, That was the one good thing, just hearing different opinions and where people come from and what their lives were like, because it's a lot different than in here in New York, because it's a pretty open community, but it's other parts of the country are pretty interesting. I'll never do any traveling though, so it's neat to meet people, from different places. So it was good in that way, to see different people and hear different things. And you always see people, from other countries that we're warring with, and you never get to meet people, so it was nice to see other people, you know, from other parts of the world that, you know, they feel the same as everybody else. I mean, it was really neat to see different people's traditions and views and how they were brought up. And
You felt there was a really big cross-section.
oh yeah, I think that was one of the really neat things about it. You know, there was people from all over the world there. And that was really cool.
Yeah.
It was really big, you know. It was, because you think about it now and it's like, when do you hear of other things like that happening where there's women from all over the world coming to support something, you know, from different countries, you know. And a lot of them didn't have anything. You know, they got here by the seat of their pants somehow, you know. I can't remember who the woman was that we brought back from the Michigan Women's Festival. Can't remember what her name was now.
Well,
There was a few of them we brought back, but
right. I'm also thinking though that how many women's full names did we know? You know?
right, because they were probably aliases, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them were very politically in the circle. You know, it wasn't their first experience. I mean, they were active.
Over long periods of
Yeah.
time.
So I wouldn't want to travel by the same name all the time either.
And sometimes those names were just so fun.
Yeah. Big Brother's nasty.